85% of people prefer text over email and phone calls because they want to engage in a conversation. All text messaging is not equal. Customers respond to people, not bots. Be more like people and start having conversations that end in conversions. Use Scipio.
I was walking up the stairs today, Andre, and you know how when you put carpet in, there's like little staples sticking up?
Yes.
That like keep the carpet down?
Yes. You got a staple in the foot.
I got a staple in the foot, probably deeper in my toe than I've ever had in my entire life. And it is shocking to me that in the hundreds of years that we've been using carpet or whatever.
Yeah, we haven't fixed that problem.
It's just like, hey, you know what the best way to put carpet down is? Put nails sticking straight up in the ground.
Yeah. How did you handle it? What is your pain response? Are you a scream? Are you a...
You know, I feel like it's evolved over time. I didn't used to really be somebody who cursed a whole lot, but I find myself cursing a lot more,
Cursing
like kind
more?
of under my breath, just like,
Yeah.
you know, dropping a salty swear.
Yeah, I think Abe and I are so different in this way, in that when Abe gets hurt, he is like a loud, like screamer type. Yeah, and I'm like, I just go down. It's completely
like,
silent.
It's quiet.
Like, it's all like
Hand
all
to
of
the
the
fist.
pain is in my brain.
Yeah,
It's just brain
I'm
pain.
probably more lean that way, where I'm just like, "Stop," and I just kind of keel over or whatever.
Do you feel like you have a high pain tolerance or a low pain tolerance?
No,
Really?
in fact, it's funny because me and my wife are different in a handful of ways, and our kids in some way reflect us. And Jack is a lot like me in a lot of ways. We're both kind of ADD and silly and whatever. And he's also like kind of a bit of a baby when it comes to pain.
Right.
Whereas Archie is not. He is like, he'll fall over and be like, ugh, ow, wow, okay.
I love that.
And Joy,
That's
I
a
think
great
is
trait.
like, if you talk to Joy about like childbirth, she's like, oh yeah, childbirth is like, yeah, it's hard.
But not that bad.
But like, as far as like pain, like that kind of pain, she can handle. Like dull pain, that's hard. Pregnancy is harder for her than delivery.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't say I have a high pain tolerance.
I would say I think I have a high pain tolerance. I think I have a low, like, irritability, annoyance tolerance. Does that make sense? Like if I have like a
short fuse,
a sore or like an itch or something, that it just annoys me, and I really don't like being annoyed, but I don't really mind pain too much.
Discomfort escalates into anger quicker.
Yes, exactly. I think I have very low discomfort tolerance, I think.
Discomfort tolerance. There's got to be something there.
I don't know.
Well, fortunately, we have a very soothing and great podcast.
My favorite part of the week.
That I suppose we should start.
Let's do it.
You're a thief and a liar.
I only lied about being a thief.
Steal.
Lie.
We're gonna steal the ship.
Commandant, no, Lieutenant.
An idea that is fully formed, fully understood, that sticks.
Well, someone like you to steal.
Ideas are bulletproof.
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
Steal this idea.
This is the part where Scott says,
hello again, thieves.
We're back.
Are back. It feels like it's been a while, even though it hasn't.
No, we did a show last week.
I know.
Yeah.
It just for whatever
Right on
reason.
schedule.
I've had some long evenings with the kiddos. You know, some
It's
some
just been a long week.
weddings.
That's all.
It's been a long week.
Yeah.
But welcome to the Steal the City podcast, where every week, me, Scott Knudsen, and Andre Washington.
Me.
That's you. We give out $1 million business ideas for you, the thieves, to steal. Andre, what kind of ideas are we talking about here?
Let's think. What are some good ideas that we have had on the podcast? There was one last week we talked about that I was like, I want to recap that one again.
It wasn't Spoofy Puffer Pants.
We did talk about Spoofy Puffer Pants. Can you tell us what Spooky Puffer Pants was? We name-dropped it last week, but we did not actually say what the idea was.
Well, so Spooky Puffer Pants is the name of the episode. I think it's just called Puffer Pants is what we called it, because
but the episode name is Spooky Puffer Pants.
Yeah, because I think it was a Halloween episode. But the premise is oftentimes when you're camping, it's kind of a pain to like bring your sleeping bag around. But most of the things that keep you warm are like kind of over your shoulders things, whether it's a blanket or a coat or something. And so the idea is to take basically sleeping bag material and make little booties at the bottom. So it's just basically like a pair of like sleeping bag pants.
You get right in.
You just get right in, and like if you want to go out and like take a leak, you're not like freezing from the waist down.
An excellent idea.
And from what we could find at the time, nothing like that existed, and it seemed like just kind of a no-brainer. So
that's a good one. That's a really, really old episode too.
Yeah. In fact, we'll hop into the mailbag. It's always nice to hear a new thief reach out and let us know that they've been binging. And I'm always interested to know like how far back somebody might go. It's like, because this is episode I think 92. That's a lot of episodes to like, go start from the beginning and make your way through. So yeah, you got to think a lot of you new thieves probably aren't, maybe not
familiar with some of those classics.
So, we're still working on the best of mixtape. We got a good episode today. We got some fun stuff. We're going to try solve some problems, talk about some of our purchases, things of that nature. But first, Andre, let's do a little good idea, bad idea.
Welcome to Good Idea, Bad Idea, the segment of the show where Scott and I go through our Facebook, Instagram, our everything feeds, and we bring one question to the show. Is this a good idea or a bad idea with some of the ads that we've been pitched that week?
That is right. Now, I have a couple here. Two of these, and maybe three of these, had Andre in mind. Like it knew that I was going to be presenting them to you somehow.
Special.
So let's do this first one, Frenchie. Thefrenchie.co. And if you go to compare wallets is really what we want to go to.
I love a wallet.
Yeah, I know you love a wallet. What stood out to me here, and I remember, so when AirTags first came out, I was like, oh man, I wish that like there was a wallet that like you could just slide this into. And that's what this is. At least one of their main products is a kind of a slim minimal wallet that has a little area that you can just slot a little AirTag into. They also sell other stuff, it looks like shirts and backpacks and things like that. But I thought this was like a pretty clever thing, and I feel like the wallet looks fairly handsome.
Yeah, they look handsome. They retail for, I think it's like $100. It ranges from 100 for one version, a special edition for 110. But it's a smart looking wallet. Really kind of high quality leather looking product. I love the idea of an AirTag equipped wallet.
Yeah. The only thing that I would change about this, because I saw it, it's like, should I buy this? Should I try this? Is I kind of, so the way that this wallet is presented is, it looks like a kind of a minimal leather wallet like you'd expect. And it kind of shows the AirTag.
It has a big old hole to show the AirTag.
It's like,
I don't like that either.
Yeah, I kind of wish that there was like a flap there or something.
Or just like if it inserted from the inside, went into a little pouch and then didn't show on the outside. It looks not as great because it has this glaring Apple logo on an otherwise kind of sleek leather product.
Like, unless you wanted to tell everybody, like, oh, this is an Apple wallet, you don't have one.
Yeah, it's, I don't really like that.
So that's the one thing. So I kind of want to keep an eye on this company or this, maybe there's something out there that does this but doesn't do that. Because I think otherwise, $100 is like kind of the going rate for anything outside of like a cheap wallet.
Yeah, it's a price rate. I mean, about $100 for a nice leather wallet is right. And if you're already kind of integrated in the Apple AirTag ecosystem and you want to add it to your wallet, this looks like a pretty good option. I just don't love the design, but otherwise seems like a really good item. What
do you got for me, Andre?
Click my second link. This is addjoy.co. JOI, addjoy.com. I got an ad for this today, and this is essentially nut milk that comes in a concentrate. So you kind of get a jar of this really concentrated nut milk that you blend, I think, with water. Yep, you just add water to make milk. And it says that this is like the best, purest, most natural form, I guess, of nut milk. I wondered what your thoughts are. I don't personally, we occasionally will buy some almond milk, but not regularly enough for me to be interested.
Yeah.
But I don't know what your house
So
looks like.
we switched over kind of right when we got married to almond milk because I was finding that regular milk was giving me a lot of acne.
Yeah.
And my wife is not a big milk drinker. And I think even just recently she found out she has kind of a lactose intolerance a little bit. And so we've been drinking almond milk for 6 years. And so we just kind of get a Costco pack and we just kind of use that for cereal.
Yeah.
We don't drink a lot of milk. So this seems like it would be, we would use in like smoothies, I guess. Yeah, I mean,
It's an interesting format. for
yeah,
milk.
I guess if the little, because it comes in like a little, almost like a Baskin Robbins or a Ben and Jerry's, ice cream thing, like that size, maybe a little bit bigger. If that lasts a while, that like
It says it lasts 18 months, and one $18 pack or jar makes 7 quarts of milk. Which I don't know how that compares, but
well, yeah, because usually when you're buying almond milk from Costco, you're getting like an 8-pack or a 10-pack of those little quarts. The only thing that would be annoying is like, I guess you'd have to like make it every once in a while.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I think the website needs to do a better job. So I remember seeing the ad on Instagram, and I feel like it made some claim that this was like a better, more natural, more clean form of almond milk. The website doesn't really do a good job of that. So this just feels like almond milk with extra steps for no
it's
real
like if you're drinking almond milk,
benefit.
you're like, hey, I'm doing my part,
Yeah,
Like,
it's just like I need to know why blending my almond milk daily is any better than just buying the quart.
this is
Because
something that
otherwise,
drives
this
me
is just more work. I don't really
Yeah,
like
this is
that.
something that drives me crazy. If you scroll to the bottom, so there's looks like there's 5 different kinds. There's almond and cashew and hazelnut, but then there's organic almond and organic cashew.
Yeah.
Now, I would have assumed a website
they were
like a
all
service like
organic,
this, that they
right?
were all organic.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like, well, what is the freaking difference between almond plant-based and organic almond
that
plant-based?
is like very annoying.
Isn't that annoying?
Yeah. So, this actually reveals something. So the quote that I gave earlier was $17 for 7 quarts, but for the organic, it is $25 for 7 quarts. So a considerable price difference.
So it's expensive.
Anyway,
also.
I do think it's interesting. I think the idea of buying these little jars of almond milk base and then blending it yourself with water is kind of interesting.
Sure.
If you are interested in almond milk or cashew milk or various nut milks, then check this out. But I don't
Joy,
know that-
Joy.
I feel like if Scott's not interested, then that's not good because your family drinks this stuff.
I'll send it to. I have some healthy in-laws. I'll be interested to see what they think about it.
Yeah.
I'm
we're
only
excited to
connected
link
to
around.
that world. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, let's do a Cheerable. This is not a product for me. I don't really know how it was advertised to me. But Cheerable is it's like a board game for cats.
It's sold out. It's sold out, but I want it so bad.
So it's like a ball. It's like you have a ball that seems like it's kind of has a little motor in it or something that kind of rolls around. So yeah, it gives them something to chase around. It's kind of a smart ball, it looks like. It's called the Wicked Ball. And then also they have this like game that like one kind of looks like pool and one it's just kind of a cute way to
honestly, the marketing is horrible. It's so confusing what exactly this is, but it says this brand new 3-in-1 board game is designed to keep your cat happy and active, providing them with an interesting playboard and a cheerable ball to satisfy their natural instincts and work off stress. It's called a board game, but really all it is there's this smart ball that your cat chases that's electronic, and then they just throw it in a cardboard box, and then they call it a board game. It's very cute. Can't deny it, but it's.
I mean, the box that it's in is meant to look like.
Yes, it's meant to look as if your cat was playing a board game.
Yeah, or like one looks like a pool table, one
Yeah.
looks like a almost like a Game Boy or something.
It is extremely cute. I would
Seems like kind of a
100%
fun thing.
buy it if it were not sold out. And I can't even tell you how much it would cost because it's sold out.
Yeah, the
But
ball
it is
itself
cute.
is 50, or it's about $50 for the ball.
The ball, I guess some cats might be. My cats actually love a ball. They are extremely, really interested in balls. But it says, note, this toy is not for heavy chewers. And my cats are both, I guess, heavy chewers. They like to chew through a toy. So not going to buy it. And $50 is also, I think, outrageous for a cat ball because cats just do not get that much joy out of a ball, even if they love them. So not that interested, but it is a really cute website and it is a really cute idea.
Looks like they also have some pet fountains. Weren't you talking about a?
I do. So I have a pet fountain. This is true. And I looked at their pet fountain as we were talking about it, and I think it looks really ugly. My current pet fountain is a lot cuter. But if you're out there and you have cats, you need to get on Amazon and search cat water fountain. Your cats will drink like 10 times more water, and it will help them to be healthier.
And that's also another throwback. You had an idea.
Oh, one of my favorite ideas ever. I wish I could remember what it was called.
It's gonna drive me crazy. It was like Chester or
I
something.
have our website open. And if I could remember even a keyword of the episode title, I would tell thieves. But basically, it's Otto. That's what it's called. OTTO. And essentially, I had an idea that was that we should have automatic cat feeders for wet food, which is much healthier and gourmet. And a lot of people want to feed their cats wet food, but it's annoying to constantly have to open tins of wet food and feed it to your cats. And you can't automate it.
Fancy Feast, which we discussed, was the top shelf.
Yes, which is
cat food,
the worst.
as everyone knows.
It's the 59-cent cat food. It's so bad. And I had this idea, which was for an automatic cat feeder that could detect and see how much food was left in the bowl and then automatically dispense from like a big pouch that you would load it, that the company would sell to you, into your cat's bowl. And that way you could constantly provide fresh, healthy, wet cat food. That's Otto, OTTO. That is a great episode. And people should go back and listen to it because I spun it out into a bunch of like kind of side ideas to it, and I feel passionately about it, and I would be first in line to buy this product if it ever came out.
Those are the best ones, the products that we ourselves would buy.
Exactly.
We'll do this last one really quick here. Swimply, which is a play on Simply. Swimply.com. Swimply is a website where you can Airbnb your pool, just your pool, for an hourly rate to people. So presumably for people who have big houses and are not using their pool often, or I guess maybe people who have vacation rentals that either aren't always used, or maybe they just have a second home. They aren't Airbnb, but they maybe feel a little more comfortable renting out their pool. I don't know. What do you think about this? I thought this is kind of interesting.
You know, something weird happened to me as I was using this website, Scott. So if you go to Swimply.com, it will prompt you to click a button and it says like find pools near me, which I did that. And what was interesting is I'm looking at the hot tub at a house, the very first house I ever rented, which had a hot tub, and they're apparently listing it on Swimply. So I could go use that hot tub, which would be fun. I think that this is a fine idea. I see indoor pools. I actually see a lot in Utah, which I'm stunned by. I see hot tubs and pools and nice, really, really beautiful pools and some average pools. I think the prices are outrageous, personally.
Yeah, because it seems like a lot of them are like 40 or 50.
Yeah, I would say the average pool price, regardless, like, you know, averaging really crappy pools and really nice pools, the average price is probably about $50 an hour, which is not fun to me. I think that if I was going to use a service like Swimply, I would want to rent a pool for like a pool party.
Yeah, that's to me. That's when I would use this.
Yeah, which could be as long as like 5 hours.
Yeah,
And
even like I'm trying to think.
I can rent an Airbnb for the whole night with a pool for that price, right? For $250 a night, I almost certainly could find an Airbnb with a pool and have it for a whole night versus renting a pool for 5 hours and not even getting it for the whole time. Yeah. So I think they need to maybe reset expectations on the price, but I think the idea of being able to list your unused pool, which you're paying money and time and effort to maintain every day, then you should be able to rent it every day. I think that's a good idea, but we need to be looking at a way, way, way lower price point.
The other thing that's interesting here, it says list more than just pools. It's on a wait list, but it says basketball courts, private gyms, and home studios are also. So this is kind of like,
also a good idea. I know, like, as a tennis player, you very often maybe had like one friend with a private tennis court, which was always really nice because you could go play tennis at a private court. So the idea of like being able to hop on a website like Swimply and rent a private court for 2 hours is like a lot more appealing, especially if you could do it through an app and like in 3 minutes have a private court reserved near you for a nominal sum. That would be pretty awesome. Same with basketball courts, which I know would like go like crazy here in Utah, where it's like everybody's looking for a court to play on.
I'm trying to convince my wife to let me build a pickleball court in my backyard right now.
I think that would be so fun, and you would be the talk of the town if you had a pickleball court.
I feel like it would be like everyone would be like, "Hey, Scott, like, what are you up to this week?" And I'm like, "Did you want to come play pickleball?"
You'd have friends like literally barking at your door every day.
I know.
Yeah, that's a nice idea.
Swimply. Before we move on,
I'm not clear if you think this is a good idea or not. You're really not.
I think I don't know if it's a service I would ever use. It's one of those like in a bind. It's like I could see us being somewhere and being like, like this place doesn't have a pool, but we're at this family gather or this friend retreat, and like, man, if only we had a pool. And it's like, hey, well, like let's for $100 or for $150 3 hours, like we could go just really quickly, on the spot. There's a pool in our same complex that like you could rent. Like I could see like in a pinch maybe using this.
Yeah. It's too much work to use in a pinch though.
Yeah, maybe so.
I don't know.
Before we move on, so I was going to say this till mailbag, but it's relevant now because he actually just messaged me. So shout out to Joseph Kane. Well, two people, Joseph King and Wing Butler, two people that we don't know. Joseph connected with me on LinkedIn. And he wrote this really nice post where he says, two-part message here. Shout out and plea to Scott and Andre and their awesome podcast. I enjoy listening to it. I powered through 15 to 20 episodes on a recent road trip. For those unfamiliar, they give up business ideas. Thanks to Wing Butler for introing him. So also thank you.
Yeah, this was an awesome message. I remember you screenshot this and sent it to me.
And basically he loved the Puffins Muffins idea from last week.
Which was a truly legendary idea. For thieves that don't remember, Scott had an idea gauntlet wherein he presented a bunch of food ideas, and one of those ideas was a muffin/muffin top rotating menu. It was a really awesome idea because muffin tops are awesome, and you could bring them in for breakfast, and you could pick them up on your way into work. It was just a really great idea.
Yeah, anyway, super awesome. Thanks for shouting us out, Joseph. And then he happened to message me just right now. Mm-hmm. He said, episode 73, y'all are talking about struggles with sleeping and earbuds.
Yes. This is a problem that I think about every day still.
He says, I believe these still don't allow for any audio, only noise making, like white noise.
Yeah.
And this is these Bose sleep buds.
Yes.
Have you seen
these are awesome. So Bose makes this product that's marketed for use while you're sleeping. They're really comfortable in the ear. They last forever. The problem is that they can only do like ocean noise.
Yeah.
And
I wonder if there's like you could hack them.
You'd think if you could hack them though, then why wouldn't Bose just offer them that way, right?
It does seem weird. That they wouldn't.
I don't know why. I could not tell you. They're $250. Who would spend $250 for ocean noise? I have no idea.
That is a lot. When you can spend $10 for some Solitunes.
Exactly.
Anyway, shout out to Joseph, man. Hey, we really appreciate it. We'll have you on the show anytime you want, man. And yeah, I'll see if we can get Joseph to give us a kind of a top 3 in his binge, ideas that he's liked, so we can feel good about ourselves. All right, Andrew, let's transition here. If you'd be so inclined.
Sure. Would you like me to bring a transition topic? Is that what you're saying?
Let's do yours, and then we can do mine.
Okay, so last week, I think I talked about this a little bit, and we got through a couple. I polled all of our friends, and I said, give me ideas for the podcast. Not that I don't have infinite ideas for the podcast. Of course I do, but it always is nice to get a little help from your friends when you need it. And resoundingly, this is interesting, is from multiple people, I got thoughts on Tesla. And if you own a Tesla, you know that one of your daily activities, now that you own a Tesla, becomes going to a supercharger and charging your Tesla for 30 minutes to an hour and basically sitting there in the car. And the idea kind of workshop was, how can we come up with interesting ideas that fit into the model of I need to park and charge my Tesla for 30 minutes to an hour?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Does anything come to you?
Let me see. Let me tap into
Another
my
idea,
brain here.
maybe while you're thinking about that I think is actually also really interesting. I have no idea how the technology would work, but another idea was mobile superchargers for electric cars. So if I'm at work, I can order a charge while I'm at work to my location. This also seems like a pretty good idea.
That seems like a great idea.
But I have no idea how the technology would work. Could you...
Yeah, so basically you'd probably need some...
Like a big truck that has a battery on the back.
That has like huge batteries that like...
I just wonder, is that like efficient at all? I don't know. I have no clue.
Yeah, I guess it would depend on how... Because you'd pay a premium to like...
Yeah, to have them come to you.
Yeah.
But how much... Like, these are all such weird questions.
Yeah.
It's like, how much charge can you put on the back of a truck? How many hours can a truck have?
Yeah.
And then, like, is the speed? Because it has to go somewhere and just sit there and let you charge off it. So, I don't know. I don't know when that's efficient, but it could be.
Yeah, I think battery technology is an interesting space where, like, that's one area where I think... Once we crack the code on that, I mean, it'll just fundamentally change every aspect of our lives.
So, well, no, the battery tech is like going to be one of the things that really explodes.
Yeah.
Another idea, an app that allows coaches to various sports to schedule games, practices, track player stats, and set practice routines for players. Roles include owner, coach, player, and fan. I'm sure an app like this exists, but this is coming from a parent with a child in junior sports. So I imagine that at least his league is not using such an app. If you're out there and you know of such an app and you recommend it and it has a lot of use, maybe send it in.
Yeah, the hard thing about, like, because I think it's a good idea for an app. The hard thing about those kinds of apps is that it's kind of like do you remember the kind of the garbage app, or maybe that was with that? Maybe that was an episode you were out on, but it was basically
I had a garbage app once.
Well, we talked about an idea that was
we talked about a garbage app once.
Where basically it tracked when the garbage man was coming.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I for some reason I feel like maybe I wasn't on the show, but we definitely talked about it. Maybe the following episode, and we kind of concluded that it's an interesting enough idea, but like, what motivates you to get such an app? Yeah,
and exactly, it's like I could see, like the problem is it's like it's kind of the flip problem. It's like, oh, it's kind of helpful, but now you got to make money off this. You got to like get people like in there using it a lot, and like it seems hard to monetize and by extension hard to like support and make great. And so it probably just ended up being kind of janky and then not great, which is probably why it doesn't exist. But I do think if you could find a way to couple it with something else as like an add-on, I think there's definitely an angle there. So I've been thinking about the charge problem.
Okay.
This is my thought here. So you're familiar with
buying time to finish idea.
No, you remember Foursquare? The idea you could check in, you could be the mayor of somewhere. The app Foursquare.
Yes, I was going to say the game or the app. Yes, Foursquare. Is Foursquare
game.
Still around?
I think it is.
Or maybe it's kind of dead.
I think it is definitely not. It's not hold the place that it once held, but I think it does have a community. And I think have kind of pivoted several times on what they do. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I like the idea of, so you're charging, right? And I like the idea of logging into a game that knows that you're at a charging station and all the other people there. So there's a couple of things. One, there's like, try and get the top score of this really specific kind of game, like a Tetris type game or whatever. And it's like you can only play it within this area. And there's going to be all the other people who are playing it too, because they're all charging as well, right? But then also this idea of like making that particular charge station like climb the rankings. So like you go on and whether you're solving puzzles or you're contributing to something, you're like mining something and like, you know, building equity in like the fake metaverse of this charge game or whatever. I like the idea of like, oh, you go there and like, let's up level this charge station because we're going to be here for an hour. Everyone get on your phones. Yeah. Let's see if we can, you know.
Yeah.
And maybe
I like that idea of like
maybe unlock something simple. Mm-hmm. You know, you can get some Tesla avatars or whatever.
Yeah. That would probably be like the most straightforward thing would be like a Tesla. I don't know. We'll send you a free Tesla shirt if you reach X level.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's like a fun enough idea because your charge station kind of becomes your charge station. Yeah.
Well, I just think
some sort of competition element in an app or a game would be kind of fun.
I just think you can, because you have a hub there, there's interesting things you do with almost like an intranet where it's like, hey, within this, as long as you're connected to this Wi-Fi, you get access to this, the service that like you wouldn't get otherwise, you know, and it's like, anyway. I think a game, and I think you could build it and sell it to Tesla or partnership with Tesla, and they'd be like, oh, good, this makes our experience less crummy or whatever.
I like that.
All good ideas.
I think I had one more. I had two bad ones. These are
you
from
just skipped over this.
Readers. A dog sitter, but for your plants. Dumb idea. These are from Skylar, by the way. And then a random excuse generator, which like that's been slung around for 1 billion years. Need an excuse prior to or after an event. Explain why you ghosted. The service gives you a real human crafted excuse that you can just copy and paste.
Yeah.
I think there should be a Twitter bot that does this for you, actually.
As far as the...
or a Discord bot or something bot that will just generate excuses. It's hard to get creative with excuses on the fly.
Yeah. And with the plant watering one, the hardest thing about that is it's like you gotta let somebody in your house.
Yeah. And all for what? It's not a great idea.
Yeah, again, that's another one where I think you could maybe couple that with something where it's like it's this add-on service where it's like, hey, we do these things, and one of the things we do is we also water your plants.
I'm sure, if you had a weekly lawn service, I'm sure they could add this.
Well, my thought is you it's like the out of town package.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, I'm going out of town. So here's what we offer. We will sit your dog and we'll water your plants and we'll check your mail or whatever. We'll move packages from your front porch to a deposit box and we'll, it's a whole bunch of stuff. And then you pay $100 for the week. And it's like, you have somebody who's just like going through 10 houses and like, that's all they do.
It's kind of like to me, service packaging.
Yeah, that to me is a lot more feasible, and I think you could like. It's not just like, hey, all I do is water plants all day. It's like, well, no, I
have.
yeah, because I can see us like we're going on a family vacation, and I know that like we have plants, not even outdoor plants.
Where are you
that we
going?
Watered. We're just going
something
to
like that.
Oregon coast for a little family reunion.
Oh, fun. When?
Yeah, kind of over the 4th. Coming up.
That's fun.
Okay, I have a discussion thing.
Okay.
And this was brought to me. So my wife was talking to her parents, and they were at one of their kids' houses, and they live in, I think, Missouri. And one of their grandkids, he's like 9, and I guess he's like a pretty smart kid. He listens to like, who's that political commentator, Levin?
He listens to a political commentator.
He listens to a political commentary that an adult would listen to.
Okay.
And he's 9. Mark Levin, that's who it is.
Okay.
And I think he dabbles in like electronics and stuff like that. Yeah. He's like a smart kid, but he's like, I think he's like a little isolated and like doesn't really know. Anyways, he's like wants to like do something, you know. So I guess what he's been trying to do is like make these little miniature houses that he like puts a little circuit board to make it light up and like sell them. And it was like, okay, that's like a okay idea, but I think he just wants something. And so anyway, that got told to my wife, who then told me, she's like, you and Andre should like talk about ideas for kids.
Should make little houses.
You should make little houses instead of a podcast.
We should talk about this idea of projects to entertain or kids interested.
I do think that like there is probably an entire separate podcast that you could make of good business ideas just for kids. But I was curious. So the other day, some kids in our neighborhood, couple experiences happened that also kind of tied into this. So one, my siblings came in, and if you are a diehard listener of this podcast, you'll know one of the first couple episodes I had a rant about kids and lemonade stands.
Yes.
And how they drive me freaking crazy.
One of Scott's alternate ideas was selling chopped vegetables. Was that your idea, or
that was me?
I come up with that? I don't remember.
No, it was me. I think selling stirred Minute Maid that your mom made for $1.50 or whatever. It's just like
effortless and lame.
It's effortless. It doesn't really teach you anything, and you're just like, it's so bare minimum value. Yeah. And what I said is like, man, what would be really helpful is like, if somebody was like, hey, here's a bunch of pre-chopped onions, or hey, here's a bunch of pre-skinned potatoes. It's like, oh, that's actually great. I'll pick that up. Now I got a side for dinner, you know, like
that's creating value.
That's creating value. Anyway, so my nieces and nephews stopped by my neighborhood last week, and they bought a Walmart thing of ice cream sandwiches, and they were just going door to door selling them. Mm-hmm. Like an ice cream truck, but just like, hey, we want to raise money.
Your nephews did this?
My nephews did this, yeah. My nephew, yeah. And they wanted to buy Pokemon cards with the money, but their parents were like, no, save for summer activities. That sounds better. Anyway, I was like, okay, that's like better. It's the same model as an ice cream truck. We buy it, we sell it for a little bit of a premium, we bring it to your door. Yeah. Great. I think generally that play is like, hey, that's better than ice cream, which is just like find something you can buy in bulk that people generally like. I think Otter Pops is like generally a good one. It's like 50 cents and you get an Otter Pop, whatever. The other one that happened to me recently was one of the kids in the neighborhood. He was charging like a couple bucks to clean out window wells. And it was like, we'll get the garbage out and we'll take the weeds out. And it was like $2 or $3 a window well. And I was like, great, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And you don't have any problems jumping down there with spiders and pulling that crap out. And I know that a lot of like kid stuff ends up being just like labor, like cheap labor or whatever. But I don't know. Like, do you have any thoughts on, did you ever do any of that stuff?
No.
When you were young?
I never did anything like any of that other than like I did chores.
Right.
Which everybody did.
Fake work.
Yes, exactly. I wonder, would you be interested? So I'm thinking about what's your relationship to the 9-year-old?
It's Joy's brother's kid. So I guess
So
he's
he is your nephew,
I guess he's my nephew.
right? Would you be interested in like an Etsy for kids? So the appeal. So I often go to Etsy. I just like looking at Etsy. I like looking at things on Etsy. I like buying things on Etsy. And one of the reasons that it is fulfilling for me is you're supporting like a person, right? You're buying from like an individual person, and that's cool to me.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to me if, just like it fulfills me to buy from a person, if I could buy from a child.
Yeah.
And maybe there's even like a little video where the kid like introduces himself and says, "Here's how I make these bracelets or these little houses." Because I also I feel like you could build in some of that narrative content, like a blog or a video or something like that, to help provide like social proof that the kid is doing it, right? Which helps you feel better about maybe paying a little more than you usually would or something like that. And it's mostly like handmade goods or little projects like the house thing. That seems like really interesting to me, like an Etsy for kids.
I think even as like a stepping stone, I think the idea of like, hey, I want to get better at this, and this is how far I've gotten, and by supporting me, you're like it's helping drive, learning that skill even more, and like going to a class. And I think there's art things like that where like, you don't want just crap, but there are young artists who can do pretty good, little paintings and maybe little sketches. Like I know a big thing these days are like family photos where it's like it's no face. It's like a pretty minimalist kind of vector looking.
And maybe it like kind of looks, the interface is kind of like a GoFundMe.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
So that way you feel less like you're which there's a point for that too, which is like young entrepreneurship. That's cool too. But it would be cool if it was like, okay, by buying this work of art or this craft or this item or artisanal good, you're supporting them to achieve X, which is like a class or...
Yeah, I actually really like that idea. Is like, all right, what do you? I
just wonder if that makes it feel like a little too chintzy, like a little too much like a fundraiser. And what I would want the marketplace to be is like talented kids making cool stuff and selling it. Yeah. And if you go down like every time you buy a bracelet for $20, you're helping send me to summer camp. Like that's just a little. It's like closer to the lemonade model of like.
Sure. Like,
I don't know. It's just not really what I want.
It's like, hey,
but
I don't
both
really
work.
Yeah. Yeah, what I told Joy is, and I haven't really seen these houses, so I don't know how intricate they are. I imagine
they sound cool. I'm like, you should send me a link. I'm interested in this concept.
I'll send a picture. We'll put a link somewhere in the description. What I said is, I thought like, what would it take for me to buy something like this? And really, to me, I think the best market is Christmas ornaments. Make it a little lodge and put some snow in there and, put a little Santa.
Are they that small then? They're like, yay big.
I mean,
come on, this is your nephew.
Well, I haven't seen them. I can't imagine they're huge.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
I don't know.
But people put up chintzy things over the holidays constantly. And so if you say, hey, and instead of this just being like a house with lights, it's a haunted house or a Easter bunny,
a little Christmas ornament would be really cute.
Yeah, and it like lights up and it's made by a kid and it's I think there's something kind of cool there. You could have a little card on there that says a little about him. I don't know. But yeah, I think a kid Etsy or
I think that would do really well. And searching it, I did not find anything like it. Searching the words kids Etsy. I think that like a dedicated site that was like, here is a marketplace where kids make stuff and people buy it because they're kids and because they're talented. Something like that is interesting to me.
Yeah. Well, that's my discussion prompt, Andre.
Wow.
Before we wrap up, I wanted to. I know you sent me this thing that you bought, and I was like, and it was like, well, I've never even heard of something like this before. So I thought it was like an interesting, at least, thing to bring up. Tell the thieves what I'm talking about here.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I had to remember also. So I got an ad somewhere in my life, I could not tell you where, for essentially a database of poorly rated plugins for popular software. So if I pull it up, and really that's all it is, the database. It's like 5 or 6 different Excel. I think it was like $9, and I'll give Scott a link to put it in the description if you're interested after hearing this. But it has low-rated Shopify apps, low-rated WordPress apps, low-rated Android apps, Chrome extensions, neglected Chrome extensions, and essentially you click into these, and they've done like a pretty hefty amount of product research. I would say ultimately it's worth $9 at least. So if I go to neglected Chrome extensions, I have a bunch of Chrome extensions that have like a good number of downloads, 200,000 downloads, 100,000 downloads, 200,000 downloads, but they haven't been updated in 5, 6, 7 years. So really what it purports to do is give you kind of a database of interesting business ideas or interesting app ideas that you could go in and like basically steal.
Clearly there's a market for this.
Yeah, exactly. You could go in and you could steal and you could make better, add some like minor product improvements, and really kind of start somewhere where the idea has already been validated. So it's like you look at this Note Anywhere app, it has 100,000 downloads, it hasn't been updated in 6 years. Like this app is probably really outdated and really old. It's already been validated. We know that 100,000 people want this. So go in, look at the Chrome extension and see like what you could do with it. And it's just kind of like a really big, I bought it again for like $9 because I figured I could farm it for Steal This Idea content, right? And I'll give Scott a link again to put it in the description. But ultimately like a really cool little database.
I like the idea, the idea itself, which is just like, hey, I or whoever have done a whole bunch of research, and like this is valuable, and selling it for pretty cheap, I think is really smart. I know that in my job, I bought something like this. Well, technically Diego bought it, but it was like a bunch of kind of outbound marketing hacks and plays and things, and it was like 200 different strategies you can use, and it was just like this huge long list, all with links and resources and scripts, and
it just saves you some of that brainstorming work of like just kind of twiddling your thumbs trying to think where to start. It's like, just give me some ideas to make into
and it was like $70 or something like that, and it was like getting to the front of the line on some of this stuff. Like the internet's such a wild place, and there's so much just schlop out there. Being able to say like, hey, for a small premium, we'll get you to the front of the line. We've organized it, and like, we'll get you to the place that you might have naturally gotten to, but it would have taken you hours and hours to get there, which is just like doing all this research. It's like, I've just done it all for you. Here, pay me a small premium to just cut the line.
Get a package of it. Exactly.
Yeah. I think ideas like that
is an idea like all on its own, right? Which is like thieves think of what knowledge do you have, or what areas of like internet research and disorganization do you see, and how could you go and really just bundle it all together and then sell it as a product on its own.
Yeah, especially if you're that type of person, like as we've talked about, like I have a knowledge in something like cryptocurrencies, which is like a lot, right? Like to be able to like truncate all that and to put it all in things. Like I've spent hours of research, just like wading through it, And it's like, I could like, if I spent a week, like really putting together like exhaustive resources and this and that and the other thing. And
that's a product.
Then you sell it for $10. You run some ads, and people who are like looking to get in, and the crypto, obviously there's a lot there, but even things like gardening and things like fashion and things like, like anything, any hobby, any skill or thing that somebody wants to pick up. It's like, I know like home projects are like a big important thing where it's like, hey, here's a bunch of resources of people who do it really well. Here's a bunch of resources of like where to buy stuff. Like I think something like starting a restaurant or something like that. Like instead of just going to some blog from 4 years ago, it's just like, hey, like, no, like I'm a real person who's done this, and like, here's some tricks of the trade or whatever. I think there's a lot of value. I'm surprised I don't see more of that stuff. Anyway,
There you go, Thieves. We'll put a link in the description.
Link in the description. Andre, I think it's going to do it for the episode. Anything?
Shout-outs?
Yeah, I mean, other than the ones we mentioned.
Shout out to Scott's nephew.
Shout out to my nephew. Shout out to Joseph. I think his name's Charlie. To be honest, I've never met him. He lives across the country.
He's getting a lot of talk on this show and a lot of representation for his craft. So
yeah,
that's way better than any name.
Yeah, of course. Andre, where can the thieves? How can they get a hold of us?
There are so many ways. First, send us an email, idea@gostealthisidea.com. Visit our website, www.gostealthisidea.com. You can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and everywhere that you can find a podcast, Stitcher, etc. Steal This Idea. And you should find us and you should rate us 5 stars because it helps us to promote the podcast. You should share the podcast with a friend. That's another great way to support the podcast. If you really, really love the show and what we do here and all of the work that we put into Go Steal This Idea, please support us on Patreon for just a couple of dollars a month. You can help us to continue doing this awesome show. So those are a bunch of ways to find us and talk to us. You can also find us on Twitter @AndreWatch0 and @ScottBeAmazing. Tweet us anytime. Follow us. That's another great way to get a hold of us, as well as Instagram.
And LinkedIn,
And LinkedIn, which apparently that's how people find us. I am also findable on LinkedIn. I don't know why.
Yeah, he said he couldn't find you for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why. I'll have
You're
to connect
in incognito mode on.
I think I feel like I should be pretty available.
Well, Thieves, it's been great. We appreciate it. Please send us in any ideas that you want us to talk about, problems that you think we can solve, as we've solved several problems on this episode already. And yeah, we just want to hear from you either way. If you liked an episode, if you hated an episode, if you think we're right about something or wrong about something, we want to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. Thieves, we love you. We appreciate you. And we will catch you in the next one.
Bye. That's Scott testing the soundboard.
We did it!
Woo!
We did it! That is 36 seconds. In case
that is a lot of applause.
See you, Thieves.
Bye.
Use Scipio, the #1 engagement tool for sales teams that want more responses, appointments, and conversations. Message your leads and customers where they are, on their phone. I'm not talking about phone calls. We're talking about true one-to-one texting. Use the code STEAL at Scipio.com for 2 free licenses. Use the code STEAL at Scipio.com for 2 free licenses. See you later, Thieves.